The Expropriation Bill does not only seek to repeal the apartheid-era Expropriation Act, it also aims to guide how organs of the state can expropriate land and property in the public interest with or without compensation in a just and equitable manner. Public participation on the bill took place in 3 phases, which include public hearings, written and oral submissions. Parliamentarians went across the country to get the views of South Africans on the bill.
These rightful owners are the owners who are supposed to be compensated, because this land was taken by the criminals.
We from the National Cohesion Council, I'm Chief Stanley Peters and I'm representing the National Cohesion Council here, and also the Griqua royal family. We support the bill or the present legislation that you want to repeal. Everything that's concerning of expropriation land. Ons ondersteun hierdie wetsontwerp. Vir jare is ons mense grondloos.
We are always fought against when we're raising issues about the land and or our rights. We are not animals. Stop treating us as such. There are no drains, no toilets in the areas that we live in. We are tired of lies.
Now, Lomthetho gives a certain minister powers so that they can go and take land as they wish, because it opens up. It's not only, by the way, property is not only limited to land and houses. It goes into your cell phone and goes into your house.
Virtual oral submissions continued in September with some stakeholders giving their inputs.
As a low-trust chair in social justice, we welcome the initiative, and we do so on the belief that it is just and proper that a new Expropriation Act that is attuned to our Constitution replaces the current Expropriation Act, number 63 of 1975. And in this regard, we think there's been a misunderstanding in the public debate. People did not seem to realize that there is expropriation that is going on in this country, and it has gone on forever. And in all countries, there is expropriation. So the bill does not introduce expropriation. What it does, it redefines the parameters for expropriation.
Some of the landless who live in the informal settlements and invaded land along the N7 in Cape Town hope that the Expropriation Bill will bring much reform to share the land.
Not nice for me and for the people around me. For one person to own a land, he doesn't even stay in this country, that person. Maybe someone from China, England, wherever, is owning a land, a piece of land in South Africa, that he doesn't use. So the government must do something about that. I don't say they must take the land back or anything, but they must just do something about it, because we all, at the end of the day, we all want to own a piece of land.
You see where we are staying now? Yeah, we see my background. That is where we are staying, in the shacks. We want the government, even if he can give us a land, can give us a land to build the houses. We are not all got that money to build for ourselves the houses, but he can just do something for us, like RTP houses. Long time we're staying in these shacks.
We need another piece of land, because this isn't enough. There are a lot of people, and you will find that we are 5 in one place in a shack, and the shack is not safe. So we need more land so we're gonna build and like crash for our children and more securities.
The reason I said the land must come back, because the way I see, we are proud of the small piece of land that we have. Our children cannot move anyway. They get accident in this road, everything is happening. We knew that sometimes we are staying on the lands that we don't have to stay on it. That's because of some small reasons, that because there are people who have a big lands than we have. Look like here, as you see here, this guy, his land starts from there to there on the other side, on that crushed stones mines. He got a lot of land, even this piece of land that we have here. He gave us this piece of land because this piece of land for him, that was nothing because it was only the flat place where the water comes when it's raining very heavy. That's what I'm saying, the land can come back so that we can have our own happy future. I can call it like that.
One of the labor movements which supports the bill says the legislation needs to be fast-tracked to address land reform and landlessness.
I think for us the fundamental issue is that we're 27 years into democracy, we still have a very skewed land ownership legacy in this country. Most agricultural land, which we're talking about in this case, is owned by white men, and that's in a country which is 80% African, 90% black. I think if we look at the lessons of Zimbabwe next door, it shows to us that we have to address the land issue. We're not going to be a sustainable democracy or an inclusive democracy if we neglect it. And it's not just a question of agricultural land, where many farm workers, many women and men in rural areas would love a chance to grow food, to contribute to the economy, to have their own survival independence. But also it's about people in the cities and the towns, where you have many people who live in informal areas, don't own their own land to build a house on, to build a small shop or business, to give something to their children to inherit. So I think for us, we support the Expropriation Bill.
Kosatu says while it's also disappointed that the Constitution 18th Amendment Bill could not be passed by the National Assembly, the Expropriation Bill still gives some hope.
But for us, it's not a train smash. The Expropriation Bill provides for the same provisions. It's very clear when government can expropriate land with compensation, without compensation, or with partial compensation. It speaks to abandoned land, idle land, state land, land which has not been utilized, or there's a need for public good. I think for us, we support that. We don't want to give a government a blank check because workers also own houses, property, and they want that sense of security, which we support. We want workers to own property, which they couldn't own under apartheid. But we also think the bill is right because it empowers government to accelerate land reform.
Some organizations say changing the constitution is not the answer.
The ANC since 2008 made various attempts to do expropriation, and we will continue to oppose them together with other organizations in this regard. The answer lies in some form of property rights for South Africans, and we have made various suggestions in the past, and we will continue to do so. But many other organizations also make proposals. The answer is not in changing the constitution, but to find a mutual solution for this for land in South Africa.
Deliberations on the bill are expected to be finalized next year. It's hoped these deliberations will pave way for the proposed law to be passed by Parliament. Mercedes Besant, SABC News, Parliament.